right, I'm not going to keep you all waiting. It is 8:07 on the dot. Like I said, we started a little bit later because we wanted to make sure that everybody had the opportunity to hop on here. We have people joining, so I'm going to make sure I keep my eye on everybody that's coming in to make sure that I have everybody in here. We have a treat for you tonight. So first up, we are going to start this night's call a little bit different from Winning Women Wednesday. We have some special guests that are going to start us off, and they're going to come on and they're going to share some information with us. And then we're going to kick it right into Winning Women Wednesday. If you saw a flyer, you know that tonight's theme is hope. And we're going to talk about its importance. We're going to talk about how to keep it, how to get it back if you lost it, and what it means to each of our speakers. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get straight into tonight's call. Well, first, we're going to hear from two amazing women. One, her name is Ray Daniel, and she is from Channel 41 Action News in Kansas City. And then we're going to hear from LaDainty Timmons, who is a senior affiliate with Nove. So we have an event come up this weekend and it's by the Yes She Can. It's the Yes She Can conference. And the theme for this event is financially fit. And I'm super excited because they asked me to be the keynote speaker for this event. And so when I tell you, I'm ready to hear from all the amazing panelists and guests that they have there. I'm sure you've seen flyers on my page. And it is an event that is packed full of amazing speakers and panelists. You have people coming, talking about different, let's see, we have somebody from a consultant firm, we have tax professionals, we have real estate agents, you name it, they're going to be there to make sure that we have women empowerment and financial empowerment covered. All right. So I could say more. Look, my daughter just popped in. Say hi, everybody. All right, go back to daddy. So we are all about women empowerment. And what I wanted to do is start with letting them come on here. Bye, baby. What I wanted to do is start by letting them come on here and share a little bit about this event, because if you have anybody in the Kansas City area, you want to make sure that you get them there to this event. They are going to drop the link on how to register in the chat here shortly, but I'm going to stop talking and get out of the way. And I want to go ahead and bring up Miss Ray Daniel. Like I said, she's from Channel 41 Action News, and Miss LaDainty Timmons. They're going to come on and share. So let me unmute you so you can take it away. Miss Ray and Miss LaDainty, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Hello. Good evening, everyone. It's LaDainty Timmons, and I'm the president and CEO here in Kansas City of LaDainty's LLC. It's really an honor. Thank you guys for having us here, just to be able to talk about our Yes She Can conference on this Women Winning Wednesday, for sure. So the Yes She Can conference is a one-day conference that we're having that focuses on leadership, women empowerment, and just women being able to renew their minds, just redefine our goals and reimagine our lives on a financially, level of success, a new financial level of success. And being a part of Nove has been great for me. So I'm really excited to be able to bring Ms. McCambry come down and be our keynote speaker. And then Ray Daniel is going to be our host for the conference. And so I'll let her tell you a little bit more about the conference.
Thank you so much, LaDainty. I appreciate it. I am so excited. Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches, mis amigas. I cannot wait for this one-day conference. When this started back in 2020, I was extremely nervous, and Nelson Gabriel can attest to how nervous I was about this conference, because I kept thinking, oh my gosh, what if no one shows up? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? But you all, this was a room full of women supporting women. And what better night to talk about women supporting women than International Women's Day. So happy International Women's Day to everybody. This is a conference this year that's all going to be talking about being financially fit. And I cannot wait to hear from Mrs. McCambry. I was looking at her bio and just hearing her encouraging word. And I think what's so incredible about this conference, and Mrs. McCambry, what you will see when you come here to Kansas City, is there are so many different voices when it comes to women, right? You have the smaller voices, you have the louder voices, you have the entrepreneurs, you have the police officers, but every single voice in that room is important. So it doesn't matter how quiet or how loud your voice is, your voice still matters in that space, in that environment. So I encourage everyone who is coming to this conference, use your voice, connect with somebody, because it is going to be incredible. Okay, I'm gonna calm down. I'm very excited, obviously, for Saturday morning. LaDainty did put the link to the conference over in the chat, so be sure to check that out if you all can. And LaDainty, I will give it back to you.
Thank you so much. I just want to say thanks for having us, honestly. And we look forward to having Nove First Lady here in Kansas City and being able to teach us a lot of great things, guys. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Like, it was just an honor to be able, to come. I mean, I would have came just to be in the audience. So I want to say I truly appreciate the opportunity to speak. And I mean, I'm ready, to take my notes and hear from everybody as well, because one of the things I understand is that, no matter, like you say, you have big voices and small voices, it doesn't matter like where you are in your life. You should always strive to continue to grow and evolve, because trust me, I may get there and like, oh, well, I didn't know this about funding or financing or banking or real estate. So I'm super excited, and I'll be there taking my notes. And I've never been to Kansas City, but I will tell you this, I've been watching the weather and I was so excited when I saw those 60s pop up. And then I looked and I was like, wait, there's some 40s coming. And then it was just like 40, 40s. And then it was like the lows of 20s. And I was like, oh,
that's Kansas City weather. It's all over the place. Honestly, that's what we get here. One day it's shiny, then we got snow. So we cross our fingers for the best.
I know.
My big jacket ready. Woo! But thank you all so much, and I look forward to meeting you, Ray, and of course seeing you again, LaDainty, and everybody that's going to be there. And thank you all for staying on for our Winning Women Wednesday. So we're going to go ahead and kick straight over into it. For tonight, we have some amazing women that are going to be coming on here and sharing their stories of hope, their stories of what it means to them. And I'm going to begin by introducing them to you. So first up, we have Mrs. Alicia Goins, and she honestly needs no introduction. I mean, we hear from her all the time. She's definitely always pouring into us. She does so much for Nove here. Like when I say there are some, I'm just like, look, I know I have a lot going on, and you have, a husband, and you have your kids, and you're doing this. Whoa, do you sleep? But I just appreciate everything that she is doing for us here at Nove. And I'm ready to hear her. Also, next up, we have Miss Kimberly White. And when I tell you, she's one of those people, and I'm very big on like vibes and the what people give off. And I remember the first time that I saw her, it was just like she just had this aura about her that just made you instantly be attracted to her. And so I am super excited to hear from her and everything that she has to say. Just like Mrs. Goins, Miss Kimberly White is going to be speaking at our Women That Win event coming up in Chicago, and I'm so ready to hear from her. But I'm so ready to hear what Miss Kimberly has to say. I kind of got a little bit of her story, and so I think that she's going to be great to share what hope means and how to keep hope. And then we have Mrs. Johanna Morales. Now, I don't want to mess up your new last name, so if I say it wrong, I'm so sorry. I know what it's like to have somebody say your name, but is it Quintero?
Yes, just like that.
All right. So this is our newlywed. Congratulations. You all probably know her as Johanna Morales, but now you're going to get used to seeing her new last name. And I know that this woman right here is, if they say anybody is a beast, she's a beast. She came in and was like, took off. And so she just really did great things in our company. I'm so excited to see her growth and everything. And it was one of those things with her. I heard about her before I even got to see her. And I heard great things, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. And so I'm super excited to hear from her. And she's also going to be speaking at the Women That Win. And when I tell you, I got to see a little bit about her story. It's one of those things where it's like, wow. So this just goes to show you that women from all walks of life go through different things. They're going to test us. We have this strength like no one else can imagine. And there are certain things that you're going to hear from them. And if you're attending Women That Win in Chicago, trust me, you're going to need your tissues, especially when you hear from all of our panelists. So these Winning Women Wednesdays are going to give you a snippet of what you're going to get from the women that win. So I'm going to step out of the way and we're going to begin. So Miss Kimberly, Mrs. Alicia, and Mrs. Johanna, if you can unmute your lines, because I'm going to be asking a few questions, and you can take it away and chime in when you're ready. Tonight's theme is hope. And also, in addition to this, if any of you have questions for our lovely ladies on tonight's Zoom, or if you're watching on Facebook Live, drop them in the comments. We're going to do our best to try and keep an eye on the questions that are coming in and get them answered. But without further ado, let's get it kicked off for our Winning Women Wednesday. Of course, it's great that we started on International Women's Day, like Ms. Ray said. And of course, it's Women Her Story Month. So let's go ahead and kick it off. All right, ladies. Are you ready? We're going to start with our very first question. And before I get into that, let me tell you the definition of hope. I looked it up because I think a lot of times people get confused on exactly what hope is. And it says, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, it says that hope is to cherish a desire with anticipation, to want something to happen, or you want something to be true. It is to desire with expectation of obtainment or fulfillment. It is to expect with confidence and trust. And I could keep going on and on and on because there's so many different definitions to the word hope. So now that we have the definition of hope, I want you all to let me know, ladies, what does hope mean to you? And you can take it out. Take it away. Kimberly, I see you first on my screen. Kimberly, what does hope mean to you?
Hope means to me that I can do better, that never to give up. I always have to bring it back to what I know, biblically based. My hope is in him, and in him is in Jesus Christ. So now I know it's easier said than done when you're going through something, but having hope then in him is knowing that it won't always be like this, or that situation isn't going to always be what you see. So having hope is knowing that is something greater on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Love it. Johanna or Alicia, when you want to take it away, what does hope mean? What does it mean to you?
Right. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. McKimbry, for putting this together and, having us all here, sharing our stories is an amazing opportunity. Thank you so much. For me, hope is a happiness feeling that no matter what, I know that I will always win, no matter what. So, when I was little, my mom used to say every day, everything happens for a reason. You always begin with the end in mind. So I'm thinking about any movie that I've watched. And when I see the movie, I never know how it's going to end. Usually the good people or the good characters win, and I'm thinking, how am I? Am I a good person or a bad person, and why I'm always going to win? So I may be in the middle of the movie right now. Things are happening, but things will unfold. And at the end, I'll have the victory. So this has been my principle throughout my whole life. Every time I see something happens, I always believe that, it's happening for a reason, like something better is coming, something's cooking, something is happening right now. And I kind of go present at that moment, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful because this is coming to bring me a gift. So I believe that hope is just being happy no matter what. Mrs. McKimbry.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Alicia.
So when I think about hope, and I was just sitting here reminiscing on actually what I went through. When I think about hope, immediately, Jeremiah 29:11 comes to mind. It is my favorite scripture. It got me through some of the hardest, darkest places of my life. But hope to me honestly means God. It means faith. It means trust. It means just moving yourself out of the way and trusting the unknown. And that is exactly what hope is. But at the same time, I know we'll probably get into this more at the conference, but it's honestly believing in a higher power, that it's not you, that it's supernatural. And I'm saying that you just have to know my backstory to really know why I'm saying that. But hope to me, the biggest word I can say is it's God's plan. It's trust. That's what it means to me.
You know, you three said something and I was writing it down. Johanna, what stuck out to me is that you said hope to you means that it's bringing you a gift. That stood out to me. I thought that was pretty powerful. And Kimberly, you said hope means that it won't always be this way in hard times. And that stuck out. And then Alicia, you were saying that hope means moving yourself out of the way and trusting in something bigger than you. And I think those are three really big points, because a lot of the times when we're going through hard times, we feel like, oh, is this ever going to end? And I think we have this mentality that hard times is supposed to be like, okay, I had a hard time today, it's going to be better tomorrow. And that's not always the case. But the fact that you said it won't always be this way stood out. And then Johanna, when you were saying it's bringing me a gift, you know, the first thing that came to my mind, and I'm not sure if everybody on here has had the opportunity to have children, but think about like going through the pregnancy for 9 months and then going through labor, whatever your labor is. And at the end of that hell, if that's what you want to call it, because some people have bad pregnancies and some people, well, I can say bad, they have harder pregnancies and harder labor and delivery. And then some, it's just like a ploop. But at the end of it, you get this beautiful gift. And it's something that took time to form. And it took time for you to be able to, you had to nourish it. And then at the end of it, you know, sometimes people are in labor for like, hey, I'm in labor for 30 minutes. And other people are in labor for days. But at the very end of it, you have your bundle of joy, your gift. And then for you, Alicia, what really stood out to me, and to be honest, this is kind of one that was like, ouch, because for me, the type of person that wants to be the fixer, I always try to let me fix it. Let me find a reason to fix it, Lord. Let me figure out how I'm going to control this to make sure that this doesn't happen. Like, I'm the fixer. Like, I'm going to try to figure out a way to fix it. And, you know, moving yourself out of the way, for me, that's hard, but you have to also understand that there's something bigger out there that has more power than you that's going to be able to do it. So those are three things that really, really stuck out to me. So now the next question I have is, why do you feel hope is important? Because for some people, they may feel like, you know, hope is something that I can't, you know, some people feel like if it's not tangible, then it just doesn't make sense. So like if I can't say, okay, here it is, then I know it. So hope is something that you have to have internally. It has, like Johanna was saying, her mom was telling her. So it's been something that has been birthed in you and passed down. So in your words, why do you feel hope is important, especially for those people who are just like, So why is hope important?
I can go ahead and tap in on that one. And ladies, y'all can take it right away. Hope is imperative. It is a non-negotiable. Because like I just said, you know, it's bigger than us. We can't do all this on our own. And I have a very spiritual background as well. And a lot of times, you know, we think that we can do everything. Just like you said, you know, I'm the fixer, right? When I went through homelessness, and, you know, this is where my adversity came from. You know, I always believe that adversity is a gift. And I really learned the power of hope in those valleys. You know, because I was that chick that thought I had it all together. You know, I didn't need a man. You know, I didn't need Section 8. I didn't need this. I would work 2 jobs, 3 jobs sometimes. But then, you know, God had to humble me real quick. And all I had was hope. And I really, you know, I'm big on my faith, but at the time, like I wasn't at the time. But again, having to trust, like having to not knowing when I was coming out of homelessness and not knowing when things would get better or where the meal was going to come from or where the, you know, medicine for the bed bugs was going to come from, or, you know, just not even knowing when we were going to come out of that situation. Like, just it's a non-negotiable. And I mean, I'm just saying this for, it's easy for, like, if you go through something, because I've had my adversity, you know, I've been through depression, I've been through all these different types of things. It's easy for me to sit here and tell you that it's a non-negotiable, but it's really, hope is really one of those things that you have to experience for yourself. You have to get it for yourself, and we're all going to get it. And if you've already been through something and you haven't found your hope, or you haven't found, you know, where you can trust God, or where you haven't found that you have faith, you're going to get there. But it is honestly a non-negotiable, because if you don't have hope, all these dreams and things that you have, you're never going to get there. You're always going to stay stuck. You know, a lot of people may be stuck right now because they don't have any hope. So you have to find what it is to unlock that so that you can go out here and do what it is you're going to do, whether it's in your business, in your family. You know, if you're looking for Boaz or, you know, that other person, or if you're looking to mend a relationship with your child or with a significant other or your parents, you have to find hope because it's your belief level. And I mean, that I'll just take it from there. And I know the lady's going to come behind me, but I mean, it's a non-negotiable. So you got to find your hope.
Sometimes you are put in a situation where that's the only thing you have to hold on to. I remember when I found my dad in the basement, dead from a drug overdose. And I thought that me going to see him was for reconciliation because I had anger issues because he wasn't there. And that was hard for me to find him that way. And so, in dealing with that and the fact of me, which I thought I wasn't going to be able to have children, and then God blessed me with my son, my gift, which was a Jeremiah. And that's why I named him that, Alicia, because that's what God put on my heart to name my son. And like you said, I thought I had it all together. You know, I had the career, the degrees, and, you know, me and my child's father was together at that moment because I picked him for me, and I was a single mama. I became a quote unquote baby mama because I picked him, and baby, I was in a humble position. I was like, oh no, not Kim. No, not me. But oh, God said, oh, why not you? And so at that moment, that's the only thing I had to hold on to because my mama couldn't heal my heart. My besties couldn't heal my heart. The only person that could heal me was God. And so all thing I had to was to hold on was hope and to love on my baby. And at that moment, at that season, you know, that was my focus. And, you know, my faith, I changed, church homes, and, it was just a lot of transitioning that I had to do for Kimberly. And that's when, I realized that, the type of faith that I had before, because at that time when you're younger, you go to church because that's what you know to do. But when you get older, you can't live off the prayers of your grandmother and your mother, because them storms, you got to pray for yourself. You got to get in that closet for yourself. And so that's a whole different level when you praying for your child. And, it's different levels to it when you become a mother. So I just thank God for the hope from within, and, having that trust and, believing and knowing that God will and he can make a way when it seemed like there's no way. And I can go on and on. I'm be quiet because I get excited thinking about how he brought me from where I used to be. So it wasn't nothing but him. And I know that it was from what was instilled for me, but also going through it and what he brought me from now. And that's how I'm able to stand in front of you guys today and don't feel shameful of it, and to share my story so I can help somebody else.
Yes, so hope is so important because it's a state of mind, it's a decision, it's an election. You make the decision at the moment that you see what's going on in your life. And, we are humans, we are gonna go through so many different situations. Sometimes they're, unexpected situations. So, and sometimes they break our hearts. These situations, we're never expecting that this could happen. And then we start feeling different situations like remorse. Maybe we feel guilty. Maybe we feel, that we don't have anything to do, to fix the situation, right? And depending on whatever is happening to you, you can choose the cup is half empty or half full. And hope is that the only thing that you actually need. You need it, because if not, you're not gonna smile anymore. You're not gonna see the future with a positive attitude. And losing hope will get you sick. Losing hope will be having no recourses, no solutions, no options, and it's a state of mind. So you choose to be hopeful or not be hopeful. But if you balance out and you look at it and then be like, okay, what is it for me if I'm staying hopeful? What is it for me, my family, my kids, my environment, the people that rely on me, the people that love me? And if I choose hope, we're going to be healthier, we're going to be better. Remember that when you're not hopeful, you're in this darkest space. And when you're in this darkest space, it's gonna get your organs, your cells, they're not gonna be too healthy. When you're suffering, you continue crying, and when you continue harming your body without even knowing that this could cause cancer, that this could cause anxiety, that this could cause your back to be painful, to headaches, different things, dehydration. But when you're hopeful, it's like, all right, let me just sip on this water and wait for it to happen. So when things get complicated, there is a book that I remember that I heard. I read it once. It took a whole year to read, because you read it 3 times a day. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. In the beginning, I was thinking it was going to make me a better salesperson, but it basically just made me a brand new person. And when I have had the hardest moments in my life, there is just one word that says, "These too shall pass. These too shall pass." And I have the scripts. I can send them, in the chat for everybody to see. If you download this and you read the scrolls and then you do it 3 times a day for 30 days, it's going to transform your life in every aspect. It's just going to be a new you, 100% a new you. So that's the book that I remember reading to the scrolls every time that I've gone through the worst situations of my life. I always go back and read these scrolls, and it just keeps me there, keeps me standing, keeps me strong.
Y'all, when I tell you, y'all are taking me to church tonight, but Johanna, you started with something and you said that hope is a decision. And I think that people forget that everything we do in life is ultimately a decision. We have to make some type of choice. And I think that right there stood out, because we can decide to have hope, or we can decide to not have hope. And, which one is going to get us what we want? Which one is going to get us through those dark times? Which leads me to what you said, Kim. And you were saying that when you have nothing else, hope has you. And when you got into that spot where, like you said, nobody, your girlfriends, your mom, nobody could get you out of what you were in except for hope. And, Alicia, you were saying hope is trust, and you have to be able to experience that. I think once people experience it, then that's all they know. And they know that no matter what, they're going to have the hope to get through. But Kimberly, when you said that, I immediately went to my notes, because March 1st, Sarah Jakes Roberts, who in my head is my mentor from afar, she said something at her Hope Revival tour that made me think about what you said. And then as Johanna started talking, it literally came full circle. One of the things that she said is that we go through life and we hope for things instead of hoping in God. And so we will hope that we get this car. We will hope that we get this job. We will hope that we make this amount of money. We will hope that these things are happening to us and we're getting these things, but we are not saying we hope that God prepares me for this job. We hope that God prepares me for this abundance of finances that's about to hit my bank account. We don't hope that God has us. So and so it brought it full circle when you said that about us making the decision, and when that's all you have is hope. And then it was like, Alicia, when you said that you have to have hope. If hope is trust and you have to experience it, that took me to what Miss Dr. Nita Phillips was saying. And she was saying that, you have to experience it, because if you don't experience it, then you don't know what it feels like to live without it. And when you live without it, you realize that living without it makes no sense, then you need to live with it, because as you live with it, it's going to get you through things that you never thought you had, because hope, unlike people in our lives, will leave us high and dry, which brought me back to what you said, Kimberly. So what you all three just said just brought it all full circle, because sometimes we are so dependent on other people to help us get through these hard times, and they will leave us. But hope is not going to leave us, because it's the decision that we make to have it to get us through. So let me get off of that. We're gonna go ahead and move into our next question. So, ladies, like I said, y'all are taking me to church. So the next question I have for y'all is, what is something that makes you feel hopeful right now? And I want you and I want to take that question a little bit further in terms of, and one of the things that they asked us at the Hope Revival is, what makes you like feel hopeful? So in other words, you know, if you are right now, what makes you feel hopeful is that your kids are coming home and they're not having any bad reports from school, and they used to do it, and now you're hopeful that what you're doing to get them on track is working. Like, that's the kind of, what am I looking for in that answer? So what is something that makes you feel hopeful right now? Johanna, we'll start with you. What is something that makes you feel hopeful?
Okay, sure. So one of my dreams has always been to empower people, because I've had a lot of situations that a lot of people would be impressed to hear about, and we'll talk about it in Women Who Win. And it's going to be the first time that I'm going to open up the whole, baggage of information that I never share. But I'm thinking today that a lot of things have already passed and I'm healed already. I'm able to go ahead and impact people's lives. So one of the things that I always do is I do personal development trainings. I talk about it, the books that I've read, and there's so many changes that, there's so many things that I have to hold on to the beliefs, to be successful, to be, happy, to be grateful, to have all of those beautiful things in my life. So I'm hoping that these people that I have helped so far, and the people that I'm still helping, that I am pouring all this information, I want to see their growth. I really want to see them win. There's women that I have really worked on things that, like abuse, like they have been raped when from family members when they were children. And I'm in sales, right? And sometimes I see that they don't even want to do a video. They don't want to take a picture, a professional picture, post it on social media, because they feel that they don't feel as beautiful. They don't feel as confident. They don't feel as they feel like if people knew what's going on, even though they're just doing a video or a picture. And we all know that to be able to get more clients and to be able to have more affiliates, we have to have confidence. But when the team, stuff is going on or has gone on and they haven't healed, I really, take into consideration every week that I do a mentoring event for personal development. Without sharing my story, I just go on the different books that we have read, or every morning, 30 minutes, we listen to an audiobook together. So I'm really hoping to see the growth. I'm hoping to see their changes. I want to see them earning $100,000 at least a year. And I want to see them excited. I want to see them blooming. I want to see them, and that's my hope.
Kimberly, Alicia?
My hope is that Jeremiah grew up whole. And what I don't mean that I didn't grow up whole. I don't mean that I didn't grow up happy, because my grandmother and my mother did an awesome job. But by me not having my father active, that did something to me. And it wasn't until after he died that I was healed and I forgave him because I read on I read on and did research on drug addiction, and I realized after he was gone that it was a sickness. So I make it my point to have a healthy co-parent relationship with my child's father for my son Jeremiah. And I can honestly say that him and I we do have that. So I'm very intentional about that. So yeah, I'm grateful. I'm breaking that generational curse. So that's what I want to say.
Yeah, awesome, Kim. You are gonna break those. I can see it. I'm hopeful about my purpose, and I'm hopeful about my assignment, whatever that is. God's starting to reveal it to me, and it's not for selfish reasons. It's for the right reasons, kind of, to help break generational curses. Because the whole theme of this month, it needs to be just all the time, like our stories matter. And there are so many people out there, even, not to leave our kings out, but there are so many people out here that need to know that, God is real, that restoration is real, that deliverance is real. And, that it's connected to so many different things, not only, for yourself, what's happened in your life, it's connected to your business. So I'm hopeful for whatever my purpose is, to help people unlock what they need to unlock, because, we're here to live in abundance. And I know most of the people that are on here right now, you're here because you're in business, you're here because you're an entrepreneur, or you have dreams or aspirations, like this was shared with entrepreneurs. But that's what I'm hopeful about, because I never want to be in a situation that I was in. I don't want to see people around me in those situations. Like, people probably had worse stories than we have on here tonight, worse stories than, the ones you're going to hear this month. But that's what I'm hopeful of. I just want to hear a job well done in a nutshell, but that's what I'm hopeful for.
You know what, Mrs. Goins? Job well done. You know what, Kimberly? You are doing a great job. And you know what, Johanna? I'm looking through these comments, and you are definitely empowering people. I mean, they're shouting you praises up and down. And if I can be honest for just a moment, I spoke Spanish fluently for many, many years, and then I stopped speaking it and I lost it. And it upsets me, and I don't know what's being said in the comments, but I know they are singing your praises. So ladies, you are doing amazing jobs, and I just want to let you know what you're saying you're hopeful for is actually being done. Like, I see it, and Kimberly, I may not be in Chicago and I may not be active on Facebook that often, but I can open up my Facebook and I see, you posting up with your son, and you're doing great, Mrs. Goins. I mean, we worked together almost all the time now. So I see your growth, and it's happening, and Johanna, I mean, come on, you are a regional sales director. I mean, you are definitely empowering people, male and female. So I just wanted to sing you ladies your praises, because you're doing amazing. So whatever you're hopeful for, that you feel hopeful for right now, or hoping for, job well done. Keep pushing forward, because you have people who are looking up to you. So with that said, we're going to take a quick shift in the topic. So hope doesn't always come in good times. And I know that sometimes life can be life. So when life is lifing and knocking you down, what do you do when you feel like your hope is decreasing? Or, and let's just be honest. If I can be honest, sometimes when you're just like, I have the weight of the world on my shoulders, or you feel like I cannot take one more thing, like trust me, me and God have this relationship where we talk like, we talk like we cool. And I will let you know, I'm like, God, really? Now I was already struggling holding this, and then you throw this on, like, you know, and you go through those moments where, and if I can be 100% transparent, you will say, why me? You know, and there are times when, and like those of you who know me, you know that I am a big advocate, of course, of women empowerment, but I'm a big advocate of therapy. And there are times when I will say, you know, when life gets hard, it's like, all right, am I being punished for something? Like, I'm tired of doing the right things and being a good person. And I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm out here, you know, trying to be a blessing. I'm trying to, you know, so then when it's like you get hit and then you get hit and then you get hit, at some point, your hope does get tested, or your hope does begin to decrease. And in those moments, what do you do when you feel your hope is decreasing? And what do you do to get it back? Because, you know, for a girl like me, I'm a fixer. So it's like, all right, I'm going to have to fix something. And when it's like, all right, I can't do it, I got to go back and dig my hope. Like, what do you do when your hope is decreasing, but you know you need to get it back up, but you're still in that dark space? And it's just like, I don't know. What do you do when you feel your hope is decreasing?
First thing I do is that I go and knee. I put on I go on my knees, and then I start asking for forgiveness. Ask forgiveness for, you know, everything, thoughts, acts, and things that I have done or not done. And I start asking me to forgive me. Like, I start asking Joanna for forgiveness. And I ask myself for a chance, because what happens is that sometimes when we are losing hope is because we're starting to doubt ourselves that we can win. I mean, and maybe we are judging ourselves. We're listening to our thoughts, and our thoughts sometimes are pretty harsh, and they're so harsh that, you know, those thoughts could really take someone to death, you know, because a lot of people, like, you see, you did it again, you see, you're guilty, you forgot to say this, or you made this mistake, and remember this mistake, you made it before, and your mind starts talking to you. And then one thing that you have to do is talk to yourself and be like, stop that, you know, stop that. I love me like you have no idea. And I'm gonna ask forgiveness. Joanna, please forgive me for maybe making a mistake, maybe consciously or not consciously. Then I asking God for forgiveness and for help, because I'm just like, you know, one of those bikes that need extra wheels. I say right now, I need those extra wheels because I'm a good bike and whatnot, but I need the extra wheels right now. And I don't have the strength in me. I need it from the source. So I go to the source and replenish. And then I go back to center, and then I start, you know, meditating, and I open my arms, and I'm like, I'm right here, ready to receive and to exchange, you know, whatever is not working for whatever is going to work. And you see, I'm going to renovate, just like I could change my closet. I'm going to renovate my thoughts. I'm going to renovate my words. I'm going to renovate my affirmations. So I have a set of affirmations that I share with my team for 5 years already. And I tell them, this is something you have to make sure you listen to them. Like, you have to say them, and you have to listen when you're saying those affirmations, because it will empower you, will connect you, it will put you back in the place where you're in control of your thoughts, in control of your life, in control, you get back to center, you get back to the commanding force, to being the one that's the pilot of the ship. See, you're going to be the captain. So nobody else will have the control. It's me. And how? Because I regain it, because I forgave myself, because I forgave people. Because people did wrong, but they didn't do it to me. They just did it. And I'm not going to carry their weights. I'm not going to carry their luggage with me. I'm going to let everything go. Brand new day, brand new start. Nowadays, we had someone that worked with us that was very influential in our team, and, you know, did some damage to some of our sales leaders and whatnot. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And I bless them to go, and I hope that they do well. Fantastic. God bless. See, but I have to renovate the team now. I'm renovating the team. I'm affiliating new people are coming to me, new people that we will teach and will work for the next 5 years and the next 5 years. See, but obviously sometimes you could get upset, but when you get upset is when you really, at some point you believed that whatever was happening was against you. And you know what, when you realize that it just happened, it's not against me, it's for me. So it's a bunch of principles you have to keep in mind, to keep, like, even if you have to write them down somewhere, being like, whenever you need it, you look at it and you're like, you holding to that message. See, I can rebuild, I can start again. You see, I could be 40, I could be 50 right now, but I can make it happen in 5 years. You know, I could be 60 right now, I can make it in 5 years. I could be 65 right now. I could be in this meeting right now. I may be broke. I may be abandoned. I may have situations, you know. I may not have any money, but I have 5 more years to go and I will win. See? So it's just, you know, grab the principles and put yourself in the center and forgive yourself and forgive others and ask the source, because it's the source that will the only one that will be able to give you the strength that you don't feel that you have.
Yeah. That somebody put in the comments, just want you to know, I don't know if you see it, said, that is good, Queen. I'm learning to extend myself grace. And I think that part that you said is what really resonated with a lot of people, because you said, forgive yourself. And I think a lot of times we don't give ourselves grace. And somebody said, and just to let you know, they said they needed this. They said, thank you so much for this call. So they're thanking you loud and clear. And I just want you to know that Michelle Alexandra, she also gave you a shout out. She said, we're here to stay Latinas. Queendom Quintero is in the house. So they feel you, they hear you. And I know you were saying what you do to, you know, regain that hope when you need it. But I think what you said resonated with a lot of people, because even, you know, you were saying when hope decreases, that's when also your self-doubt increases. And you said you just give yourself grace and also you need to go through those affirmations. And that is extremely important, like you said, and go to the source. So I just want you to know that what you said resonated with a lot of people. And over on Facebook, they were saying that what you said was powerful and it was life-changing. So I think that what you said, a lot of people needed to hear that. And I thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kimberly, Alicia.
Okay. You want to go ahead, Alicia? Okay. Joanna, you said a mouthful, Queen. And wow, God bless you. And I just want to just pity pack off what you just said. God is the source. I mean, we all know that, you know, and what we do, that's why you have, well, for me, it's every day is not going to be a good day. That's how you have to do things with a purpose. And for my purpose is for people to see the God in me, right? And not so much of a product, right? Because we can have all the products in the world, and if they don't see nothing higher than me, it don't serve me or my team no purpose. So when things go left or go right, you have to remember who the source is. Because like you said, you're going to have your good days and your bad days. And it may even be for me. I remember when my grandmother passed, it shook me so hard. And I know my faith is strong, but sometimes your flesh get weak. And so that's when you have to know that, okay, God, God, I know, but God, I want really, like, I told him, like, God, really, you know, so it's like, you just have to be, you know, prayed up, you know, have them back prayers. Thank God even on your best days, because them thank yous may come in handy when you can't even speak, you know. So God will, increase, and you having the heart that you have, God gonna give you double for what you lost. And I believe that. And it's not always financial. It could be coming through health, through kids, through mental, to a peace of mind. So I try very hard to be intentional about how I treat people, how I, talk to people, how I give, because you just never know how that stuff gonna, turn around on you. So it's bigger than business for me. So yeah, you said a mouthful, Joanna, and I thank God for you. So I don't know if I got off the topic, First Lady, but yeah, this
Oh, let him speak through you, because they
Yeah.
over here feeling you in the comments. One lady said, yes, indeed, first time on his call, and I feel
Yeah.
everything you hit on. So yes, let him speak to you. Somebody else said, yes, indeed, God is the source.
Yeah.
They're feeling you. So let him speak through you.
Yeah.
Don't hold back, because I feel like you got something you want to say, but you hold back.
Yeah. God is the source. This is bigger, so much bigger than business. And I'm so glad that I can boldly talk about, God in this business, because that's how I'm able to go forth the way that I am. On a month that I not do no good, God is on my best. God is still good. On the months I'm able to make my promotion, God is still good. So it doesn't matter, because I know it's not about the promotion. It's about, meeting that young woman or that young man that was homeless, one month. He saw or she saw a light in me that I was able to help him to be able to pay his light or his gas or her gas bill, or, able to give milk for her baby. So it's bigger than just the business or me investing in her so she can pay, her rent. So no, it's not about me. It's the God in me. So it's just bigger than business. And God do the blessing on the back end. That's why, our motto is God first, and that's it.
So I want you to know over here, I'm trying to watch both comments, take notes, but you said something that stuck out, and you said every day is not going to be great, but you have to make sure you're doing things on purpose. But I think when you hit a nerve, because they're saying, see God in me and not see the product. You better speak, Kimberly. God help me out here. I feel you. And then somebody said, that's when we have to go deeper and encourage ourselves in the Lord, asking God in the midst of this situation to bring back my remembrance so that I can give you the glory. Speak, queens, 100%. When I tell you, they feel you. Somebody, Sarah Liz on our corporate staff, she said, Miss Kimberly, your light is shining. So I just want you to know, and over here, yes, it's bigger than business. So they feel you. It is. And so that just goes to show you that sometimes when things are dark and you can't see the light, sometimes hope is what is going to allow that glimmer to come in. So thank you. I thank you for sharing that. And I think that really struck a chord with people, because when they're able to see that this is bigger than just the business and that there's this whole big mission behind it, like you said, if they can see it through you, thank you. Alicia?
Oh, y'all both said a mouthful. So one of the words you keep saying is darkness. And I just gotta give it to you how it's coming to me. So darkness, like I was in a very dark period. I didn't even know I got there, but now I understand I got there because I lost my hope. So when you lose power and you're in the dark, you gotta have a flashlight, you gotta have a toolkit. I had a toolkit. I keep a toolkit. And this is why I'm saying this, because just like Kimberly said, some days aren't always going to be good. Some days you might just need a prayer, right? And you up and at them, you just need to pray, get that thing off of you. You need to go take a bubble bath, self-care, right? One day you just need to just cut everything off, detox, go get your nails done, your hair done, whatever. Okay, I'm back, I'm good. Sometimes you just need rest. Sometimes, and I'm saying this because when I went through this dark period, and I'm not gonna be the one to cry today, but when I went through that dark period, and I know this is gonna be a shock to some people, because you may look at me and I say this humbly, you may look at me and be like, oh, she's such a light, she can do everything. There was a time when I couldn't even get up off the couch for days. you got to have a toolkit. That toolkit consisted of anointing oil. That toolkit consisted of prayer cloths. That toolkit, consisted of sisters or friends that I had to call. That toolkit, was my husband, mentors, personal growth and self-development books. Some days it may get so dark that you need it all. And it was always, sometimes you're so weak that you can't even pray. You definitely need a Bible, okay? You definitely need, some days you might be, not even strong enough to read it. But when I went through homelessness, one of the only things I had was a notebook to write. And I had a mentor, and she doesn't know this, but she sent me a prayer journal. And that's something that I was doing during homelessness. And that's really what brought me out, because it's all I had. When my children were going to school or whatever, I would just write. Sometimes you need to write. Sometimes you just need to get a piece of paper. Like, I love going to the beach now or going by the water and writing. It's just something about water. But sometimes you just need to write. You just need to get it out. Sometimes you may need therapy. And I'm saying all these different things because, again, you need a toolkit, because I guess you can call it a hope toolkit. You never know exactly what it is that you're going to need to get you out of that place, but you got to use everything you have to get you out of that space, because the enemy's whole goal is to steal, kill, and destroy. This is why armor is important. And I won't get all biblical, but this is why it's important. This is why, when you talk about armor and you talk about, the chest plates and the belt and when you talk about all these things, they're weapons. You got to have something to get you out, because the enemy's going to try to take you out. Because listen, you're here to do something big, right? Regardless of what it is, whatever goal it is, you're here to do something big, but you got to have a toolkit. So, I mean, to sum it all up, because I couldn't pinpoint just one, that's why I wanted to go last, because I didn't know what was one thing. Listen, you got to have all of those things. And especially what they talked about as well. But prayer is the number one thing. But if you get to a point where you can't even pray, you got to pull on some of these other things. You got to use everything in your arsenal. So that's my answer.
Well, man, I like that. A hope toolkit. And I think that hit home too, because that's coming over there in the comments about that toolkit. Somebody said God is anointing you, Alicia. Over here on Facebook, say, amen, you're making me cry. You got this. I love this so much. So they are feeling you. Your husband is chiming in over here. He is saying when you are in darkness, hope is the light. That's a perfect analogy. Michelle's over here going crazy in these comments, y'all. I need to have Michelle on here one night, but she said the Deborahs, the Esthers, and the Marys are in the house. So, I think that you put it perfectly, because the hope toolkit is what we all need. And whatever is going to help you to, and that actually was my last question. What some of the ways you find your hope or keep your hope in times of adversity? And you touched on it, anyway. But having that hope toolkit is what will keep you in the mindset to have hope. Making sure you have the right people in your environment to pour into you, to make sure that you have the people that are reminding you of your self-worth. Like Johanna was saying, when you start to have self-doubt, your whole toolkit, your arsenal, your whatever you want to call it, you got to make sure you keep that full, because you never know which part of that you're going to need, because it depends on whatever you're facing at that time. And last little bit before we get off here, I know we've kind of went over into an hour, but before I let you ladies all go, is there one thing that you haven't said tonight about hope that you would like to share with everybody? And I was going to close us out with some things, but I think you all summed it up, really well. I'll see if there's any questions. But before we close it out, is there anything that either one of you may have said about hope, have not said about hope, that you would like to share with us tonight?
I would like to make a challenge to help for you. If you feel this event was great, if you feel that anything touched your heart, so why don't you go ahead and text, 10 people and say, hey, I'm hoping that everything in your life gets better. I hope that you remember that I'm here. And at this moment, I just wanted to send you blessings. So if we all send this message to 10 people, we're going to have at least, 500 people getting a blessing from tonight. So I just wanted to send a task. If you like to take the challenge, 10 people that you bless tonight, write number 5 in the comments, and then we'll know that you are doing the due diligence. Because see, when you receive a gift and you don't share it, then it start contaminating your soul. Okay, so share the gift, with everybody that you can.
So we got some 5s going in the comments. So they said challenge accepted. So we have some 5s. Yes, I love it. Michelle said 5 is the number for grace. Yes. All right. Kimberly, Alicia, anything else you want to share?
I want to extend the opportunity for the ladies or gentlemen on the line. I am a part of the Women of Purpose ministry at my church, and we have a prayer call every Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So for anyone that want to be on that call on tomorrow, you can inbox me directly. I would love to pray with you. And if you want, or even if you just have a prayer request, I would love to grow with you in business and also on a spiritual aspect. So yeah, I mean, that's, just continue to grow together. But yeah, I would love to do that.
Somebody shouted you out, said shout out to Women of Purpose.
Yes, that's one of the deacons in my church. Yep.
Yeah, yep, Miss Sheridan. Yep. So I know that things like that actually help, because there are some times when people are I don't want to call it pride. I think it's more so fear of asking for people to pray for them. And I know for me, it was a situation where sometimes asking for somebody to pray for you, you never know what they could be praying for. You know what I mean? So I definitely thank you, Miss Ray, for hopping on here. We will appreciate you being here. But I definitely feel like if you are in a situation where you need a little bit of prayer and a little bit of hope, I can let you know that I trust Miss Kimberly. So, Alicia?
I think I covered everything when it comes to hope. I think I said just about everything I wanted to say, but I just one thing I didn't say, kind of sort of, was adversity. I know you said to say something we didn't say, but I just want everybody on here to just understand that, and I stand on it, that adversity is a gift. So I guess I challenge you, the next time you go through something, like everything you heard here tonight just shows you. I mean, you're looking at all these phenomenal people. Ms. McCambry hasn't told her story, but listen, when you hear her story, it just blows you away. I mean, you're looking at individuals here that gain hope, and you're going to hear from a lot more women when we're talking. I'm not going to give all the topics away, but you're going to hear from some more women, and I just challenge you to keep getting on here, and tapping into these and getting everything you need. And when it comes to adversity, I just want you to understand that everything you go through is an absolute gift, and I want you to cherish it and embrace it. And it's what you're here for. You're supposed to be going through this stuff so that you can get a blessing. So that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you. I wanted to just thank all of you for coming on here tonight. I am just, man, I mean, I had expectations for this, but you guys blew my expectations out of the water. And before I go, Johanna, I just noticed your Koru earrings, so I love them. But but I just wanted you all to know that your stories that you have are going to change lives, and your story is more impactful outside of you than it is inside of you. And so I am just so happy that I was able to have you all on here, share a little bit piece of your story, but also what they're going to, have coming up, at Women That Win. And like I said, I wanted to kind of wrap everything up, and I'm not going to end with everything that I had, but what I do want to share with you is that for me, I learned that hope, and I think a lot of people misunderstand this. Hope doesn't mean there's going to be adversity. Hope doesn't mean that there's not going to be, things are going to be hard. It's not going to come to me. I think a lot of people feel like if I have hope, then it's just going to be like laying in my lap. That's not what hope means, and when people lose hope, there are a few things that was very important for me to remember, that I wasn't alone. So if you ever feel like you have lost hope, if you ever feel like, I don't know if I can regain it, just know that whatever you're going through, you're not alone. And no, it may not be the same. It may be different, but somebody has went through something very similar as you that maybe made your hope be tested. So you are not alone. I would also like to say that when it comes to hope and figuring out, how do I find it, or how do I, rebuild it, you got to look for the help of others. 3 women here that you heard from here tonight, they are your hope builders, your hope dealers, if that's what you want to say. So sometimes you have to look to people, when it comes to that, because when one of the things that we say in Nove is that if you don't have the vision, borrow somebody else's vision. And I like to say, if you don't have the hope that you need right now, borrow somebody else's hope so they can pour into you when it comes to that. And last but not least, what I want you to say, in those moments when you feel like hope is gone, or you don't know if you can have hope, or I have hoped and I have hoped till I can't hope no more. One of the things that happens when people finally give up, they're right at their breaking point, like it's right there. So never, ever, ever give up hope, because the moment you give up hope, you literally give up. Okay. And don't ever give up on yourself. And I know that times get hard and you want to just quit and throw your hands up, but sometimes you got to find spaces of where, if you don't feel there's any positivity in your life right now, step outside of wherever that is. If your house is toxic, then if you need to take a walk around the block, go do it, breathe, whatever you need to do. But I just ask that you please do not give up hope. So with that, I'm going to end it because I had a lot more, but you 3 amazing women did such a great job. And I want to say thank you so much for kicking this off with me. I love that you all, and I'm going to be honest, when I came up with my topics, I was like, all right, I got hope and I want these 3 women to speak on hope. And I'm so glad that you all joined me. You accepted, you said yes. There are people on Facebook and in the chats that you definitely blessed. They're saying that they needed this. And I just want to say that you are amazing women. And I thank you for saying yes to being at Women That Win. And I thank you for saying yes tonight. And I want to make sure that everybody out there, if there's any questions, I don't see any. I've been trying to kind of watch the chat. Miss Gail Rice said she is proud of you, Kimberly. But I don't see any comments. Thank you for sharing. Waiting for more to come. Yes, I think it's Lucia. So next up, Marlene said, thanks for the special night with all those ladies. They're amazing, wonderful inspiration, doing great jobs. So with that said, I want you to make sure that, you join us next Wednesday. Okay. So we have another lineup. We'll put another flyer up. We'll release whatever that topic is. If I'm not mistaken, the next topic is perseverance. So you want to make sure that you hop on next Wednesday. We'll be discussing perseverance and how to persevere and everything. But I want you all to have an amazing rest of your night, an amazing rest of your week. And I thank you so much, ladies, for blessing us. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Awesome job.